Yeah, and I've got Sidders in the building, and we're gonna have a nice little conversation about your music.
Yes, I'm here. So, my name is Sidders. I'm a hip-hop artist. I lean on a little bit of R&B, some of my tracks I'd say a little bit indie. It's definitely like alternative. I'm from Northwest London, and then I'm living in North London, and also spent time in Brighton. So a bit of a nomad. But I'd say my music is easy listening for easygoing people, and I think it's melodic anthems that I like, and I hope other people like.
What sparked your interest in music and making music?
With music, like it's always been there. It's kind of like, you know when you have like a bug or like an itch, and it's the only thing that like it doesn't leave. Initially it was in school when I used to play in the school bands.
Okay, cool.
And then perform, like everyone would just do covers, you know what I mean?
Of course.
And then from then I went to the Roundhouse, and they used to do like youth centre type things where you went and you paid like £2. And they like got you away from your parents for the day.
They were happy about that.
And you just made music with everyone. Like there was a bunch of different types of people, like everyone different ages, and they just put you in bands and let you just sesh it in the studios. And I think it was a very important thing for me to have to get into music. And then going into my adolescence, you start listening to hip hop and everyone starts like finding their own feet in their taste. And I remember it was a friend of mine, Carl Blarks, or Black Woody as he's now called. And everyone used to just cypher, and then, you know, you'd just be at a park and everyone would start freestyling and see what you have. And then I think it was when they started releasing music that I was like, do you know what, maybe I could do this. And so I made a song with KD Infinite, Carl Blarks, and Natty Weiler, shout out Natty. Yeah, from then just started putting things on SoundCloud and ultimately Spotify and just going from there. For me with songwriting, it's most honest when I'll pick up a guitar and I'll write it at home. And I'll spend the hours that need to be done. There's no pressure of being in a studio and time restraints. And so Mad Thoughts, which is one of the songs that's coming out, spoiler. So it's like, that's a song that I just wrote on my sofa with a guitar and spent hours on it. And then by the time it's finished, you take it to a producer and then you flesh out the final track. And it becomes something bigger than that. But I think it's nice playing an instrument to having like that original relationship between yourself, the songwriter, and music.
So it just makes it more intimate of a situation.
Cool. I think it helps songwriting. But say you wanted to make like a dance track or in the club, it's kind of hard to start.
Fair enough. Alone in your room with a guitar.
You can't you can't stem that. There's a time and place.
If you were to do that, you'd go in the studio from jump, or you get more people around you. What would the process be like for that?
I think it's nice to find people that you work well with. And I'm lucky that my producer now, so Jared LaVille, is my boy, shout out him. It's we just have a great relationship, so we'll go to the studio in the time and we'll just chat, and then we'll see like how am I feeling, how is he feeling, and then put it into music, and then make it, and then by the time the day is finished, we'll just have this thing that's ready to be put into the world, which is it's a nice feeling to have.
Tonight by Sidders on Hoxton Radio, and he's in the building with me.
Yes.
So do you want to tell me about this track a little bit?
It's so funny because I hadn't heard that track or thought about it for a while, but Tonight was one of the first songs that I'd ever recorded, and just hearing that I had the memories of when I was like back in my mum's place, and I was awake until like 3 in the morning, just like recording, stacking vocals, trying harmonies, like. And just knowing that everyone else in the house is probably listening, like, what is going on in this room? But Tonight was a proper, like, that was one of the first songs that I ever recorded, and it was in like my first EP. And I remember putting it on SoundCloud, and that was like the first steps into music. And so it was nice to hear that. Thank you for picking it.
Yeah, of course, it's a great tune. I was so surprised that this was one of your first official songs because it just seems so put together. And I just asked, like, were your first tracks not a shambles? Do you quickly want to answer that again?
In so many words, like, nah, man. I feel like I've always loved the recording process and, like, been confident with it. And it's cool because even that track is like, I mixed all of it myself. I mastered it myself and I put it out. So I'd like to say nah.
You sort of have a very individual sound, right? How is the process of sort of discovering your own sound?
I think it's an odd one. I think that you always dabble because you're influenced by the things that you listen to. And definitely the first times that I was like making music is I was listening to a lot of UK hip hop. And that's kind of all I wanted to make. And I was quite shy. So in the music scene, like I didn't want to sing on tracks because I thought that it was safe to rap. And so I started off by just rapping, and then that eventually evolved into like developing hook ideas and singing. And then it kind of, you find yourself just, I don't know, what feels comfortable and what you're good at. And I think that's how I've landed in this little like niche gap. It's quite funny when people ask you like, so what type of music do you make? It's just...
It's a lot of words, and it's also always a shame that you sort of have to put yourself in a box.
In a box.
But I feel like that's how society works for some weird reason.
Yeah.
You need to categorise things to make sense of it.
Always, you have to make it easy for people. People just want the easy answer rather than just listening. Yeah.
But it is, like, your sound is really nice. It's so soothing. It's very wholesome. Feels like a hug. I don't know. Like, listening to your music feels like I've been hugged by someone lovely. Yeah,
beautiful. That's what I'm aiming for. That's what we need. Everyone needs that.
With your sound now, is it like, has the process stopped finding your sound, or is that something that's going to go ongoing forever?
I think always, because emotions are never like set. So I feel like one day you might have an album that's all to do with love and loss, or you might have an album that's just letting go and being crazy and partying. So I think the sound is still developing, and there's still definitely stages that I need to, like, I can get better, and I want to experiment with singing and being confident, and I don't know, trying my own beats or different instrumentals. So I think it's a process, and I'm excited to see what happens. But that's why whenever I release a song, it's nice because you just park it. It's like, it's fresh for everyone else, but as an artist, when you drop it, you move straight on to the next bag.
Like, that's not mine, because I once heard I don't remember who it was, but once you put it out to the world, it's not mine anymore. Is that sort of the thing?
100%.
Okay, interesting, because sometimes, I guess once it's out there, you can't change it anymore.
You can't change it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually quite crazy, but it's a nice thought too, because now it's like, it's a shared experience.
Yeah, it belongs to you.
Smile by Sidders, and this is from your last EP, After Hours. And where did the inspiration for this song come from?
Wow, so Smile was like, I don't know, I love talking about it because this recent project really felt like a proud moment for me. It was like a body of work that like finally made it out. There was a lot of hurdles to get out. But Smile, for me, was basically like a long vent of everything that was in my head and all of the problems that I was facing. And like, even when people think that life is good from the outside, they never really know what's going on. And so Smile for me was just like a long freestyle and a good intro to the project, really, because it was just allowing people to know kind of what's to come. Yeah, what was going on.
Is writing for you a way of sort of letting out your emotions? And how do you navigate putting your emotions into the universe like that for everyone to sort of consume?
It's such a weird one. I think with writing specifically, a lot of the time you'll just spell out the first ideas that are in your head, and then you'll piece it together, and it's only after the track is made that you think, oh, that's what this is about.
Oh, okay.
At least that's how I see it. It's like I'll paint a picture and like put the words onto the page, but it's only after the initial ideas come out that I'll realise what I'm really trying to say.
It sort of is planless in the beginning.
100%.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
It's never.
There's no structure to it.
It's never, and I'll voice note it because the first idea has to be the idea that I'll go for. And then if I don't voice note it or don't remember it, then the track will never become.
That's interesting, because I thought you need some kind of structure first to even be able to write something.
I think different artists are very different, you know?
Fair enough.
But I think with mine, it's always been instinct.
Yeah.
That's how I've written best.
This is from your new EP, and your last EP was released in 2019 called About Time. How has your sound evolved since then?
Wow. I think that About Time was kind of my initial steps into music, and so it was very raw. So it was like I was doing everything myself. Okay. So I mixed it, mastered it. It was all just very much like a bedroom EP. Whereas I feel like After Hours was kind of put together. I was in the studio with this producer, and it was like a week long. It was more of an honest depiction of the thoughts and feelings that I feel. It wasn't just making songs that were happy and making people feel great all the time, you know? And so I'm quite proud of that it's a project that's like it's a different type of emotions that I'm confident to talk about. Yeah. And it takes time. I think definitely. It's very hard as an artist when you write, because it's putting something to the world, and all of a sudden people are going to hear it, and so it's difficult to make it so subjective to yourself, because you know all of your friends and this guy and that guy are going to be listening and knowing it about you.
Yeah, of course.
And so I think developing as an artist is just becoming comfortable with that. And being able to connect with different people about different things.
Yeah, because I think that's so scary, putting your emotions out there like that. But because it's packaged in like a song, it seems more lighthearted, almost, depending on how the sound is and how the tune is. But me thinking I'm just gonna throw all my emotions out there for everyone to consume, that would kill me.
Yeah, it's definitely daunting. Yeah. But then I think you realise that a lot of people feel the same ways that you do. And that's probably the most satisfying thing, is when you get messages from people like, yo, I was feeling this and that helped me get through that. And I think that's when you realise that it's kind of worthwhile, and that's what you're doing is a helpful thing for the world.
Yeah, and you also realise you're not alone with your feelings.
100%.
That's a good way of seeing it, and also like it's a disservice to not put your music out there for people
to
connect
nothing on a laptop. It does nothing on a laptop.
Yeah, it's very true.
I think it's also, touching on that, it's hard to not be the perfectionist. It's that in your head nothing will ever be finished. But in reality, it's better for it to not be finished in your eyes and be out in the world. Yeah. Not finished, but you know what I mean? Like, nothing's ever going to be perfect. And as a creative, you're going to always strive for that. But sometimes letting go is the easiest thing.
Yeah. So how do you know when a song is finished?
I think when you've listened 1,000 times. And you show it to enough people and they rock with it. But I think when you know, you know. It's like for a project, I'll make songs and I'll put it into one file. And then all of a sudden it would just click. Like I'll listen to the 7 songs in a row and it would just make sense. And I feel like that's how I know when a project is finished.
So just when everything feels cohesive. It's more of a feeling than a knowing?
It's a feeling, yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to listen to Good Morning by Sidders next. And we just discussed that your sound is a little bit alternative and a little bit different to what the mainstream is. Do you ever feel pressure to conform to mainstream hip-hop norms?
That's such a good question. I would say less so hip-hop norms, but with more how things are being consumed. As we were just saying off air, that like everything is so easy to consume now. There's podcasts, there's music, there's like an album, accessibility. I think that there's a lot more voices now that artists tend to listen to. And when I first came into music, there was definitely a lot of voices that were kind of pushing me to make music that wasn't necessarily what I wanted to put out at that time. And not really in the constraints of hip-hop, but like in music that sells. And sometimes there's a yin and yang with what sells and what's personable and what's true to yourself. And so I definitely went down a little journey of like making music that ultimately wasn't really who I am as an artist, you know? But I think it takes those times to make music that you actually rock with.
Yeah, do you think listeners can hear authenticity? Like, because you just said you brought out music that you didn't really like vibe with, and now you're putting out music that's true to yourself. Do you think the listener can make that connection?
100%. Because I think that your fan base and the people that listen to your music are your tribe. And through music, they learn a lot about you, and they follow your journey, or they come to your gigs and they see what you talk about. And I definitely think that like when an artist puts something out that's not wholeheartedly themselves, and it's not honest, I think that people sense it, and it's never taken as well as you would expect it to be taken.
I mean, for a listener, because I'm a listener consumer, some part of me thinks, yes, I can tell if it's authentic to you, but the other part thinks, if it's a really good tune, I don't care if it's authentic to you, to a certain extent. Playing devil's advocate.
Well, that's the other side to it, isn't it? And I guess that's the beauty of songwriting. It's that an incredible song, sometimes, especially in like the mainstream world, has a team of people behind it. You know, it's like, I don't know, say Michael Jackson's Thriller, which is like Quincy Jones, a bunch of other writers, people in it. It's like a body of work that has so many different people in it. And so in that sense, good music is good music. But I think it's, as an artist for my personal brand, or like my personal music that I make, people could tell.
Yeah.
But no shade on the art of songwriting. I love a good song.
And do you feel like your music challenges traditional hip-hop norms?
I think it does, because as soon as you make music that's not in a specific genre or box, it's hard to get people in. So it means that you can't all of a sudden just hit one playlist that is UK hip-hop or like jazz or like... So in that sense, it's harder to find your tribe, because you're not fishing in the same pool, you know? You kind of have to create your own demand.
Random question, but what's your music hot take generally?
Music hot take?
Put you on the spot.
Woo! Jordan Ward is the best hip-hop artist out there right now.
Oh, wow, that is a hot take.
That's my hot take. He's one of my favourite artists. 100%.
He is great, to be fair. I don't know the greatest at the moment, but he is really good.
I'm definitely a fan. I think I've always been a fan of like the Chicago rap scene. You know, from Chance the Rapper and like... And so it was just refreshing, like, and hearing the way, like, melodically. Well, I mean, I don't know, he's not even from Chicago, is he? He's from...
I don't know where he's from.
Where's he from? But that's the style that I'm into. It's like melodic rapping that's with singing, and I think his album and Cherimoya, the song specifically, like, it was just refreshing, and it definitely changed the way that I record music and the things that I wanted to try. And so I think that's my hot take. I think he's an incredible artist.
Make It Break by Sidders, such an amazing tune, actually.
Make It Break?
Yeah, that's one of your favorites, you said, right?
I love that song.
Me too. Up next, we have a little game.
Okay.
It's called Skip, Repeat, Delete, where I play 3 tracks that I hope you like, and you tell me which ones you're skipping, which one you're repeating, and which one you're deleting.
Let's go. Okay,
I hope I got the vibe right for you. I'm not sure, but we will see right now. Up first, we have Ready or Not by the Fugees.
As in, when do you want me to ask her straight away?
We're going to play all 3, and then you can tell me which ones.
Beautiful.
Great tune. Up next, we have On and On by Erykah Badu.
Damn, son. Oh, what a night. I'm feeling high.
Yeah, this is great.
She's the coolest artist.
She's just she's coming up with a new album,
She's
right?
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, with The Alchemist. And last but not least, we have The Way You Move by Outkast.
Hey.
The face switch up just said everything.
Oh, I haven't heard this song in so long, man.
It's a banger though. So, which one are we skipping, which one are we repeating, and which one are we deleting?
I think we have to skip The Way You Move, I think.
Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah?
I can't believe I'm saying that, but I think the Fugees, I owe so much of my childhood to listening to the Fugees album. Like, that's my mum playing that in the house and like in the car, and
you've got good memories.
So I think just out of respect for myself, that has to not be a skip.
Fair.
So I think The Way You Move is a skip.
No,
where is it? Skip, repeat, delete. So maybe the delete is The Way You Move.
Okay, I sort of get it.
I think that just for my musical journey, I think that you skip On and On.
Ooh.
And we repeat the first track.
Okay, Ready or Not.
Yeah, Ready or Not.
Oh, I thought we would have been on the same page about this one. Yeah, just your facial expressions made me think that we'd be on the same page. I would delete The Way You Move, skip Ready or Not, Fugees, and repeat On and On.
That's respectable. Like, On and On is a classic.
It's so good.
She was in her bag when she was recording that. It's the flows, the melody, like...
It's perfect. Fair. I hear yours too, though. The Fugees are undeniably amazing.
100%.
Lauryn Hill, I feel like Lauryn Hill can't do a thing wrong.
She cannot.
Yeah.
But I think for the nostalgic value, it had to be Ready or Not.
Fair enough. It's because memories. I feel like memories in music are such a big thing.
Yeah, they're intrinsic, you know, like... I think they're always linked because music is a feeling, right? And I think you tie feeling to memories, and it's like, I don't know, some people have memories of food or memories of holidays or places. I think my memories of music is definitely where I was and what I was doing, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that, and especially if you say your mom listened to it a lot. For me, my mom unfortunately listened to a lot of R. Kelly. Not unfortunately, I think he is one of the greatest artists ever. But we really can't listen to him anymore. Like, that's just not a thing we can do. Yeah. And even if we tried,
it's just different
now. Yeah, exactly. You can't listen to it in the same ease that you used to. Up next, we have Spotlight.
I guess it's different now, I'm by myself. Love or lost, I see you changing in a season.
You sound like the track.
Myself.
Oops.
And if you could only lose these words.
Also, Sidders been here really vibing to his own music, which is lovely to watch because you never see musicians like listen to their own music really. So I'm like, yes, I love that you love your music.
100, man. You have to love the things that you make, otherwise, if I don't like it, how is anyone else going to like it?
That's very true, but you just don't see it, so it's just been a joy to watch you enjoy your own music.
Well, I think that the biggest thing is it was such a journey to get it out, you know? And so it's more in celebration that we got there in the end and jumped over the hurdles over there.
Yeah. Hero's Disease by Sidders, who's still in the building with me.
Yes, yes.
So, what do you have coming up for the rest of 2025?
I think the biggest thing is my next project, which is on the way and submitted. And so the next single was the 25th of April, which is in a couple weeks, and that's The World Is Ours. and that's the main thing. So keep it locked, pre-save it. So.
And also, where can people follow you, find you?
So you can find me at Sidders Music on all socials and platforms, and go check out the Make It Break music video. I'm very proud of that video.
Yeah, it's great.
My guy Liam Wilmer Thompson and Lucas Reynolds on the visuals.
So make sure you follow Sidders, his socials and his music. Thank you for coming, and it was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.